Production support for Local Roots provided by
Gulf winds blow through canopy roads all the way to Thomasville. The native names written on the land echo through the red clay hills, where the scent of longleaf floated pine reach up on past that Georgia line. Stroll through Tallahassee town or southern Appalachia bound. Take the local routes and journey down the roads we call our home.
Coming up on WFSU Public Media's Local Roots. We discover how you make a 6,000-pound elephant feel at home in southern Georgia. Plus, there's a new section of the Florida National Scenic Trail. Join us for an entertaining eco-adventure.
Oh, goodbye, my Coney Island baby.
Their harmonies have existed for over 50 years. We go behind the scenes into what it takes to become a Capitol Courtsman. Local Roots is next on WFSU.
Take the local routes and journey down the roads we call our home.
Welcome to Local Roots. I'm Suzanne Smith with WFSU Public Media. And today, our journey has brought us to this very interesting crossroad in southern Georgia. You could say it's the place where the East will soon meet the South. Right now, I'm just down the road from the city of Attapulgos, Georgia. And not too far from here, a refuge is under construction for Asian elephants. You heard me right. Pretty soon, some very large former circus animals with ancestors from the Far East will be making the South their home. WFSU's Mike Plummer went behind the scenes to explore this new area earmarked for elephants.
So this cutting machine is here to clear the undergrowth around these trees that has just invaded this wooded area. It opens it up not only for the trees, but it also creates an environment where grasses can grow. And so when the elephants come in during the heat of the day, they can seek the shelter from the trees and also be grazing at the same time right along the lake.
That is Carol Buckley, and you heard her right. She said elephants, as in that big animal with the long trunk elephant. Carol has been dealing with elephants for more than 40 years, and she was kind enough to indulge my curiosity and spend a day showing me around what will soon be Elephant Refuge North America.
And this is what the elephants will see when they first step out of the barn.
Well, here at Elephant Refuge North America, we are focusing on Asian, female Asian. Now, we're not going to be a breeding facility. We are probably going to receive elephants that are post-breeding age anyway, but we want them to be really comfortable and relaxed, so we're not going to introduce a male into the habitat. It wouldn't be normal in a small confined area like this to do that. So we're just doing female Asians, and we're going to limit the number of elephants that we receive according to what's going to be constitute a healthy herd.
A healthy-sized herd is expected to be between 7 and 10 of the emancipated pachyderms, which have spent their lives confined in circuses and zoos.
There are over 400 elephants that are currently living in America in zoos and circuses, so they deserve to be in an environment which really focuses on their needs first and foremost. This is a long-lived mammal. They live 70 to 80 years. We want to make sure that they're healthy during that time. So you start with a vast space. You enclose it so that it's safe, so that they're not exiting and there isn't anybody coming inside that they have to be concerned about. That's the first thing. Then inside of that, you make sure that there's pasture, there are trees, there's creeks, there's streams, there's wallows, there are ravines where in the wintertime, when a bad storm comes through, you don't want the elephants to run back to the barn. You also don't want to contain them in a barn. You want them to listen to their natural wisdom. And what you'll see is when a storm comes through, when us humans are getting these warnings, tornado, tornado, an elephant will go down into a ditch or in a low-lying area, and they'll just hang out there till the storm passes over, and then they'll come back out and they'll continue grazing. We're calling this Elephant Lake because We know the elephants are going to prefer this. One is it's really private, there's no activity going on. There's a gentle slope almost all the way around the lake, a gentle slope leading into the water, which we're going to have some, older geriatric elephants, and so we want them to have access to the water and not have it be a struggle for them. So we needed to repair the dam, and to do that we needed some dirt, so it worked out perfectly because I wanted to create Elephant Beach. And that's that area, that grassy area over there, we call that Elephant Beach. And what we did is we took the dirt from that area so we could make a very gentle slope. So this is interspersed pasture with woods, with a pond, with a creek, and then pastures and wood, so that when elephants are migrating, they are continually going through different habitats. So 850 acres. Our goal is to fence in the entire 850 acres and give that entirely to the elephants.
850 acres. When she started talking about fencing for 850 acres, I had a little trouble getting my head around that scale. I mean, that is a lot of fence.
The first fence is going up. So this is the perimeter fence, security fence, the fence that keeps people out, shows the boundary of the property. It's flexible enough that if some wildlife run into it, it gives, so they don't break their neck. Right. So it really is just a security fence. Right. Interior to that, later we'll be building the elephant fence, which is different.
That interior, different elephant fence, I am told, will be quite a bit more substantial than this galvanized wire fence, and Carol assures me that it will be up to the task of elephant containment.
The elephant fence is not going to be as high. Elephant fence is 7 foot high. Okay?
Oh, why is that?
Because you want the top of the fence to be at eye level.
Okay.
All right? So it doesn't need to be any taller than that.
Explain that.
Well, it's just their perspective. If they're walking up to it and they see, okay, that this fence is here, it doesn't need to be any higher. It actually could be lower. It could be 6 foot, but we do 7.
They won't say what's on the other side?
Well, you know what? They have no interest in the other side because what's inside is so engaging.
I will defer to Carol's 40-plus years of dealing with elephants and their fences. But once I got past the idea of fencing on a large scale, I started to recognize other challenges of scale. Over generations, the property for Elephant Refuge North America has been used for farming, ranching, and hunting. That means a couple or few hundred years of people and their stuff being introduced to the land.
We see a lot of this on this property is there'll just be a pile of debris, metal debris. So like here we've got some T-posts, that's an old piece of an axle. This is a part of a hoe. But all these metal pieces, this is something, I don't know what this is, some kind of brace. Okay, so all of this stuff, all this debris has to be cleaned up because the elephants can hurt themselves on this. Imagine an elephant stepping on that. So this is what we do with volunteer days. People want to come out, they want to be a part of, they want to be involved. So you just get, 20 volunteers and we slowly walk along, pick at the dirt, find a pile of this stuff, you find it, dig it all up, collect it, and get rid of it. They are a social animal, highly social animal, especially the females who live in extended family groups for their entire life in a wild state. But they're still hardwired for that even though they're in captivity. So we want to reproduce, we want to create an environment that feels natural to them, because if it feels natural, then they are going to be less stressed, more relaxed, meaning they're going to be more healthy.
And that relaxed, healthy environment will also be off limits to the general public. Elephant Refuge North America will be for the elephants, not the people. On 850 acres of soon-to-be elephant sanctuary near Attapulgis, Georgia. For WFSU, I'm Mike Plummer.
So like this is the highest point on the property, of course.
Our next story takes us back across the Georgia-Florida state line. We've done several eco-adventures over the years along the Florida National Scenic Trail. The trail winds through many of the ecological resources and treasures in our area. And it's also maintained by a core of dedicated volunteers. WFSU's Rob Diaz de Villegas went to the Choctawhatchee River to meet some of those volunteers. He just recently completed a new section of the trail.
Normally isn't like this, so I guess you better pick a foot you don't want too wet. Ah, that was good.
We're hiking a new section of the Florida Trail along the Choctawhatchee River. Over just a few miles, we'll walk through a sampler of North Florida habitat types, and it was made possible through the hard work of volunteers.
We are at Highway 20 and the Choctawhatchee River Bridge. So we're on the south end of the trail going all the way up to Highway 81.
The Florida National Scenic Trail is one of 11 national scenic trails, so it was designated by Congress. It's about 1,300 miles total. I did through hike it.
Most of the Florida Trail is unpaved and in a natural setting, but some segments run alongside roads. This new section replaces 10 miles of road walk.
We saw a lot of water today we normally don't see too. It did have some good rains the last 2 days.
Walking into a recently burned section of the trail, we can see why the water puddles the way it does.
We can see here where they've had a prescribed burn, and it's probably maybe 3 weeks old, but this was so thick and dense. But it does give you an idea of the terrain on how they used to plant the trees. And you see all these little knolls and ditches in here, and that's why the water issues are like they are. You can see how the trees are up on their little berms.
These berms are where slash and loblolly pines have been planted for timber. The trail runs through one of the largest efforts to restore the native, fire-dependent longleaf habitat.
The Nagosi Plantation is 53,000 acres. That is the largest private natural preserve where they've actually planted over 8 million pine trees here in the longleaf, trying to bring this back to its natural state.
Bridges like this show off some of the hard work that went into the trail.
The trails are completely built and maintained by volunteers. The Florida Trail Association has just celebrated its 50th anniversary.
The process probably started 8 or 9 years ago. The real construction, when we really got the crews together, is probably about 2.5 years now. This is a unique area here. It was so thick and we had so bad ridges where they'd done their planting. We actually did come in with a small excavator and actually had to pile up a treadway here. One of the very few places that we do things like it on a trail was in this area because it was so thick to get through.
The crown jewel of this trail section took a lot of volunteer hours to build.
This is our Cypress Creek crossing. This is a 250-foot elevated boardwalk that we just finished maybe just 3 months ago. Forest Service crew came in, and with the help of our volunteers, we were able to get this thing built with a lot of labor-intensive time. One of the key things on the Cypress Creek crossing is the Choctawhatchee River level. Our boardwalk is set for 13 feet. Today we're only about 8 feet. As you can see, it's going to be an easy crossing. We eventually plan to put some handrails on to raise it more so you can actually cross it underwater if you have to.
After the boardwalk, we start seeing different plant communities.
The tie-dye tree, and it's blooming, so you can tell we're in a different environment from the earlier part of the boardwalk. It's much wetter here.
You can hike this trail section in one day or break it up and camp at one of 2 campsites.
Often brand new sections still have, some tweaking that needs doing. As you saw, this is completely good to go. It's really a fabulous trail. This panhandle area with our longleaf pine forest, the saw palmetto, the gorgeous creeks through the white sand is a particularly nice area.
For WFSU, I'm Rob Diaz de Villegas.
You can learn more about the Florida National Scenic Trail on the WFSU Ecology blog.
Parents with daughters who are interested in nature or animals or science or computers may want to check out the WFSU and MagLab SciGirls summer camps.
There are 2 types of camps this year. Our traditional SciGirls camps that delve into a variety of STEM fields, and there's also a brand new camp that focuses on computer science. The deadline to get your application submitted for the original camp for middle and high school girls is April 8th. That's right around the corner. The deadline for the computer coding camp has been extended. The new date for that one is May 8th. Go to wfsu.org/scigirls to learn more.
The Railroad Square Art Park in Tallahassee is known as a hotspot for showcasing local art and culture. Each month, the park hosts a First Friday Gallery Hop event so the community can come together to support local artists and businesses. WFSU's Rebecca Alvis introduces us to some of the folks that make this monthly event so popular.
On the first Friday of every month, we have the longest running monthly cultural event that happens in Tallahassee. It's an open studios, shops, and galleries event where there's food trucks, live music, and really something for everyone.
First Friday Gallery Hop was started by the City of Tallahassee to bring art and culture and fun to the citizens of the City of Tallahassee. After a while, the city could no longer really afford it, so Railroad Square took it over, and we are the exclusive host for the event. It attracts about 3,500 people. We offer live music. We have 3 different stages. All the shops and galleries are open. The artists are on hand. We also have a lot of food trucks. So it's just a time to come out, enjoy the evening in a safe environment that is easy to find and easy to access.
First Friday at Railroad Square provides Tallahassee with a monthly opportunity to get out and experience the art and culture that can be found right here in our area. It's also a chance to bring people together to support the community.
Just a really fun place. You can bring your first date, or you can bring your family here, your dogs here, like anybody's welcome. For me, it's beneficial because it's not just about the stuff you're selling, it's about the relationships you form. I have like tons of friends I've made, and every month they come and see me and visit me, and they don't always buy stuff, but they come and visit me, and that's like why I really like Railroad Square, and I wouldn't ever want to leave. Because it just brings the community together, and shopping local is like the most important thing about a lot of the artists and people here. Like, shopping local helps your community. It brings money back into your community and back into people so that it doesn't go other places like corporate places.
Well, I think that Tallahassee is a really young, active community of people who support the arts. They understand how important it is to facilitate community and to increase the kind of heterogeneity that we need in the kinds of activities that people want to do. We've got a lot going on in Cascades, and that's wonderful. But for something more like a nightlife scene, our downtown doesn't really do it, and so it's really lovely to have First Fridays because it's a little younger, a little hipper, a little edgier. It gets aspects of FSU and FAMU and the community kind of all together in one place. I love the freeness and the openness and the inclusiveness of something like First Friday, particularly in Railroad Square, because it's so central. Please come, check us out.
The First Friday Gallery Hop is an event you can count on every month, all year round, rain or shine. But Railroad Square has plenty to offer every day of the week.
The only goal we'd like is for people to understand that we're not just First Friday. We're doing some heavy marketing to tell people that we're open during the day, 7 days a week. So we're not just First Friday. Absolutely come out for First Friday. Love to have you, but we are open daily, and usually Thursday through Sunday are our busiest. We are part of the revitalization of Blueprint 2000 plan. We are neighboring right now on Cascades Trail and FAMU Park Extension, so our whole environment has changed. So if you haven't been to the park in the last year, you don't know what you're missing, because we're still that funky art park, but we are so much better now, so we hope you come out.
You can learn more about the First Friday Gallery Hop by visiting the Railroad Square Art Park's website. For WFSU, I'm Rebecca Alvis.
The Capitol Chordsmen are a local barbershop harmony group that we're quite familiar with at WFSU. You may have seen them perform on our bandwagon programs during election years. It's become tradition for the Chordsmen to sing the candidates off the stage when they've run out of time. But there's a lot more to this group. They've been in this area for over 50 years. WFSU's Paul Delva took a look at what it takes to sustain a musical heritage like this one.
Oh, goodbye, my Coney Island baby.
Barbershop Harmony is one of 4 uniquely American art forms.
I'm going to sail upon that ferry boat, never to return again. So goodbye, farewell, so long, forever.
It's the joy of singing, just the pure joy of making harmony, the pure joy of being together with a diverse group of people.
It's an absolute joy, pleasure, a thrill to actually be able to be part of a men's chorus that is singing praise to God, singing songs of love, and singing just about joy and happiness.
And tell the world that I'm the lucky fella, Sandman, someone to hold.
Sometimes we get referred to as the best kept secret in Tallahassee, but we don't want to be the best kept secret in Tallahassee. We just want to get to more places and more people have a chance to hear Barbershop Harmony and realize, oh, maybe I do like barbershop music.
And if you made it right, you would know it.
The Barbershop Harmony Society that we're a member of used to be called the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America. And that's pretty much the purpose of what we do.
I have had the honor of serving as the president of the Capitol Chordsmen continuously since 2005. We spent quite a bit of time, a number of years, trying to rebuild our chapter in a responsible way. We wanted to make sure that as we built the chapter, we were infusing barbershop into the fabric of the art society here in Tallahassee. And we feel like over the course of these years that we've done a fairly good job of that.
You can't show it here. You can't think, okay, I have to sing this high, I have to sing this low.
We have a very dynamic young director who is bringing us leaps and bounds up to the level of singing that we want to do.
I want you to go ahead and do that again. Essentially, the chorus hired a young, fresh-faced 24-year-old barbershopper who was new to directing. In my natural life as a music educator, what I try to do is to have success for all of my choruses, and I wanted to see that with the chordsmen. We have our youth program that essentially where we reach out to young men.
I've been a scholarship recipient since my second semester here. The first semester I worked my membership and then I applied. It's fantastic. I get paid for my textbooks every semester and I usually have a little bit left over to help me out with rent.
Sea under the sea, nobody beat us, five Zorina, sing for the sea.
It's just a great deal. I get to come and make music with some friends in exchange. They help me advance my studies.
From the older generation, they're just kind of happy that I'm doing it because they know the style and they love it. From people my age, when I tell them usually it's like, hey, I can't go to something, I'm doing a barbershop convention. They look at me and it's like, why are you cutting hair? And it's just like, guys, come on. I'm a singer, I'm a singing barbershop. They're always supportive of it, but it's always an educational standpoint of I have to constantly explain what I'm doing.
We actually had a 50th anniversary retrospective show where we brought back special guests and previous directors and our first president, and they got a chance to talk about it, and essentially standing on stage and being able to hear them being interviewed and talk about the history of this chorus and how they were kind of movers and shakers in the community for the last 50 years has been really, really exciting, and I look forward to possibly being them for the next 50 years.
I feel the Capitol Chordsmen offer a great deal of insight into the community of Tallahassee. We kind of give Tallahassee a good joke about it being a town that thinks it's a city. And I think the Capitol Chordsmen remind us that it's not just a thriving town, but it's a town full of culture and a town full of community and people who are willing to come together and create something.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Local Roots. I'm Suzanne Smith near Attapulgis, Georgia. For everyone at WFSU Public Media, thanks for watching. Have a great week, everyone.
Gulf winds blow through canopy roads all the way to Thomasville. The maiden names written on the land echo through the red clay hills, where the scent of longleaf floated pine reach up on past that Georgia line. Stroll through Tallahassee town or southern Appalachia bound. Take the local routes and journey down the roads we call our home. Take the local routes and journey down the roads we call our home.
Production support for Local Routes provided by